Hey everybody, welcome back to match 2 of 2 in our Bash semifinals here with Kagu player Shinshire against Haraza Ardent player Punk Out Infinity.
Not just any Haraza Ardent player. Try shard or go home Haraza player.
Could argue with a twist of lime for the wild.
Twist of lime for the wild.
Haraza with a twist. So, what cards is he playing? What cards has he cut from a more traditional Ardent deck for this wild splash that we've seen so far? Because I can't really put a finger on what cards are missing.
You know, it's so tough without a deck list in front of us because these decks have all these one-ofs anyways.
Yeah.
So, like, the 4 of that was cut to make room for the satyrs is probably still one of in this deck list. So we really can't know.
Yeah, because I feel there we've had Punk Count on a couple of times today, and they've drawn this the Satyrs vs. Bards made an appearance in just about every game. So I'd be hard pressed to believe that this isn't at least a 3 of.
Yeah, honestly, like, Satyrs vs. Bards seems to be like the only wild card sans like the Nature's Reigns that we've seen out of the reserves. So I wouldn't be surprised if like we're playing 4 of the card we splashed for.
Yeah.
This matchup, generally speaking, I think heavily favors the Kagu side of the table. The Haraza deck's kind of a mid-range aggressive deck, whereas the Kagu deck I would generally describe as a mid-range control deck, and being slightly bigger in these mid-range matchups is generally a favorable place to be. Yeah,
Kagu deck looking to go all the way up to 7. The Haraza deck is stopping at 5 with Livant or Heart Members being the honorary 5-drop.
Yep.
Because you want to get that Valor out.
Cottontail Explorer here, flipping over a resource into hand, and notably putting 1 troop in the bin for Culmination and Rotten Rancor purposes later.
Yep. So Punk Out Infinity, and most players are a little afraid of Tri-Shard. Punk Out showing no fear, putting 3 different thresholds in his deck, and hasn't really hurt him too much. And what we've seen on screen.
Yeah. The only game we had on screen where Punk Out came a little bit short on their threshold, they were just short on shards in general. Right. So the fact that these decks get to lean on double racial shards really helps a lot because they get to play more dual shards than everyone else.
Yep.
Software.
Punk Count says Satyr is a 4, by the way.
Satyr, yeah. Okay, so we have
this was an excellent draw for Punk Count here. So not only does okay. So thankfully Punk Count does have multiple Valor payoffs in play, right? So we had the Satyrs vs. Bard and we had the Intrepid Conjurer. So Shinshire choosing to deny the direct card advantage by killing the Satyrs vs. Bard that allows Punk Count to draw cards. But we're still going to generate an extra troop here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the those 3/2s are definitely not irrelevant. Definitely worth a card.
No attack on the 3/2 is a little strange.
That does seem. Maybe he's trying. Maybe he want like. Yeah, I think I attack there.
Maybe you want to hold off on Culmination. I suppose if you attack there and your opponent jumped with this, we'd have gotten Culmination this turn, right?
That would have been. Has he played a shard yet?
It's not. Oh, but we're blocking anyways. All right, so this game's about to end.
Yeah.
So Culmination is about to end the game for those that are unfamiliar with that card.
Getting good old 5 for 1 here.
Just the cleanest of living. So costs 10 to start. Each opposing champion discards the entirety of their hand, and it costs 1 less for every troop in all zones. It's one of the cards you really want to keep track of when you're playing these games because it can kind of make the difference between whether or not you're taking a free block or like taking a trade that's like kind of profitable for you if you're keeping track of like what their Culmination could cost.
Yeah, Culmination Blood, very powerful card using the Hex has a history of showing us how powerful these cost reduction effects are. Lasgar's Vengeance ultimately becoming a ban-worthy card. 4-cost Dark Card Milzon with that Major Gem of Clarity. I believe that sounds right. Yeah, getting that -1 cost was standard all-star pre-Lasgar ban, and now we've got Cyclone Shaper just showing how much that cost reduction matters to Turbo PA. It's a very powerful type of mechanic.
Yep.
So
you see the Paw of Yazukan coming down there is going to end the game 1 in Shinshire's favor for us. Head on back to the booth here, get the second game in this matchup. I think Shinshire's got to be a favorite to win this tournament if they make it to the finals, right? Like we know we already have one Ruby Diamond aggressive deck in the finals.
Yep, these like these kind of Ardent mush decks. They have a really hard time pushing through the decks that go over them. Typically in these mid-range,
Underworld Crusader is a hard card to attack through.
Very hard, and typically in the these kind of mid-range matchups, the deck that goes a little bit bigger is usually favored, and that's Kagu here.
Well, let's definitely head back on down to the area here for our second game. We have a kind of awkward opener. The resource base might finally be catching up with Punt Count here. You'll notice that while it looks like we have all three of our thresholds here, this can't make.
We're going to be short Ruby.
Which,
so you're going to send it back. Vandalize coming in, which is
interesting.
Yeah, that only hits the Eternal Seekers.
We see Punt Count taking a pretty conservative mulligan there. I don't hate that. He were a pretty slow start overall from Shinshire's side of the table. Although I guess we get to never mind. We drew the one of Acolyte of Shoku for turn 2. This little guy has come down on turn 2 so often today.
Oh yeah, I mean if you're always going to have it on 2, there's no reason to play more than 1.
That's true. You don't want to draw a second one later. Pretty strong curve here. If Punt Count Infinity hits their 4th resource on curve, Moonrise into Scion Banner is going to be very, very potent.
Yep.
And by that I mean it can't beat the Blight Knight.
Yeah, this the Kagu deck just seems, with the recent surge in these Ardent strategies, the Kagu decks just seem very well positioned.
Yeah, the metagame kind of developed into this rock, paper, scissors type format, right? Where the Kagu decks are pretty favored against these Ardent decks, the Turbo Pia decks are reasonably favored against Kagu, etc.
And Blight Knight just helps fix everything.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I would be very interested to see how we haven't actually seen this Kagu deck with Blight Knight against the Turbo Pia deck in this tournament.
So yeah, opting to I believe we saw Shinshire does have Bride of the Damned in his deck. We saw that in the quarterfinal. So just opting to stack up those blood thresholds there. Doesn't need the wild right now, and so leaving himself the option to draw a standard wild resource off the top.
Its Hero Fall is about to be a little bit brutal. We almost certainly want to kill this Satyr's Roost Bard to deny Punt Count Infinity card advantage off these Valors.
Yeah.
There's a second one hiding in Punt Count's hand.
Yep. That Satyr's Roost Bard just turned into the Kagu players 2-for-1.
Yep.
Instead of
the
yep. Yeah. Yeah, that is a bingo. Oh, that is our first Hero Fall voids a troop from hand.
Still don't have a bingo over there, do you?
Hold on. I don't think. Let me see if I missed anything. So I got Hero Fall takes a troop from hand. Both players ascended. Candlekin Art evolves. Twilight Archon on turn 3. That one's pretty unlikely at this point. Ivan creates 3. That one's out. MC triggers. So I don't actually think. It's actually impossible for me to bingo at this point.
Well, considering I only have 3 squares, I think you're safe. I'm not gonna beat you. We could tie for dead last.
Not happy about that.
Not happy about it. All right, so you got a Cottontail Explorer coming down here. Fentio coming in. I feel like the writing's on the wall again at this point. The Kagu player has established an overwhelming board presence. They're at a high health total.
More cards in hand.
More cards in hand.
Yeah.
The Fentio is going to get to start activating. Did we flip any goodies into here? We did not.
So 2 bodies for a paw.
Rotten Rancor's not live at least yet.
The Vandalize is an interesting card to bring in to me. It seems like the only card that it's hitting.
Seems pretty narrow, right?
Yeah, the only card it's hitting is a card that you're probably not in great shape
if it's in
play already, if it got into play in the first place. So
pretty unlucky for Shinshire here. Has to block with that Underworld Crusader and draw 2 cards.
Yep, there's that Bride of the Damned. So gonna get rewarded for maximizing those blood thresholds earlier on.
Yep. Second Blight Knight for Shinshire here, just like that card will easily close out any possible chance that Punt Count had of clawing back into this game with the Scion.
Yep. Oh, is he opting to No, he.
We chose no rabbit to try and get our bride.
No,
to,
I was curious. They made the blood. I guess they.
interesting. They valued getting
Yeah.
this larger over making this smaller.
Yep.
And we don't care about this card. We got a Blight Knight, another Blight Knight, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty unlucky didn't draw a Tarantula.
Still have these Swift Strike Crusaders still able to punch through. Imagine this Cottontail Explorer is gonna take one for the team here. Probably the Runeer also. Just keeping the life total high.
Yep. And these cards are invincible when they're attacking here.
Yep.
Because of Hero of Legends trigger.
Yep.
But Shinshai are just like no shortage of chump blockers here.
Yep.
And remember, if these Ardent Crusaders manage to die, they're not going to leave behind Phantoms because Blight Knight just cleans those right on up.
Yep. So we are. What are some good hits here? We're working towards that champion power for Kagu. This is. We got another Bride of the Damned. So
we just play our Bride, play our Blood Threshold, take the Scion, start making our own candles because.
Yes, sir.
Because Blight Knight is one-sided? Oh, yeah,
Yep.
it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Got. But.
We get to illuminate twice here off a Blight Knight and an Acolyte of Shoku.
You sure do.
The world is our oyster.
Yep.
Trigger.
Yeah, I think that the Punk Count does have a demanding board presence, but it's not getting through.
Yep.
These are commanding board presence, not getting through all these chump blockers.
Again, imagine if this Vandalize was a card that had a text box.
Yeah.
It really feels like we came up a little bit short here. Or we could talk again. We talked about the resource base not biting them in any of these games.
Missing double ruby.
Imagine if this wild has just been another ruby threshold and we had a burning banner out.
Yep.
Like I'm not sure how much of a difference that would have made, but it would have been a little bit more of an edge, right?
Yeah, it goes both ways. The extra cards you get in this matchup off that wild splash, like the extra card draw,
Are valuable.
It's valuable. I'm not quite sure which side of that is actually better in this matchup. So, arguably all Burning Banner would have done this game would he might have one or two less blockers, but he's got 3, so he's 9. So
Yep.
I don't know how much of a difference that would have made.
Do we have anything to Rancor? We can Rancor.
Underworld Crusader.
None of that doesn't kill any of our
Nope.
cards.
There's no lethal troops, right? I guess we'll see what he's getting. Yep. Just cashing it into draw
Cash in as a draw 2, make a candle.
There's a hero fall to take care of that Hero of Legend.
Hero Fall, Hero Legend.
Yep.
It's a good square, man.
It is. That's and a very relevant one.
Yep. Another Runeer Hierophant back to our hand here.
Yep. So
again, it looks like Shinshire's gonna be heading to the finals, and I think again, pretty strong favorite to win this tournament. If I had
agree.
if I was a gambling man, my money would definitely be on the Kagu player.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, these blood cards are very good at picking on these mid-range troop decks.
It's not even just the blood cards, like the Eternal Seekers are just brutal.
Oh, yeah, he's an honorary blood card.
He's an honorary blood card, yep.
Eternal Seeker might as well have a Blood Wild threshold on him because that candle.
Giving it the old college best with our chump blockers here, but I feel like we're just treading water until not only the Hero of Legend dies, but also a Tarantula Egg is bound to pop out of this deck here soon.
Well, really, it's with the Kagu player, if Shinshire just bricks for a couple of turns here, the Horizon player has a real shot at coming back. These invincible Swift Strike troops are gonna have is gonna keep whittling this board down. He's only a couple of missed draw steps away from being putting him real pressure.
I suppose
on here.
even when this dies, we can still attack with these Crusaders.
Yep.
Oh, they're gonna get the Hero of Legend though.
Yeah, but I still think that Shinshire's definitely favored here, and I'd be pretty hard pressed to see him not win here. But it's not 100%.
That's fair.
So,
it's not Turbo PA is comboed off percent.
right. It's shrinking.
I like
those.
this, shrinking these to get the Swift Striker smaller because they can probably attack into your board.
Yeah, now the Runeer Hierophant can block.
And now again, we're just on the waiting game till the Tarantula Eggs show up.
Yeah, 1 2 3. All right, I'm done. I'm done with that.
How do we feel about the Punk Out Infinity's chances after that storm?
Pretty low. These, especially because there's no Phantoms being left behind here.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
He even lets his opponent borrow his cards.
Yep.
Oh, we get the
He gets
Phantom.
the Phantoms,
You
too.
said there weren't going to be any Phantoms.
I
God,
lied.
you're a dirty, rotten liar.
Man, I am as monolize.
Just
on
can't
coverage
trust the words
today.
you say. You should run for president.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, I think we're officially on 0%. I think we're on the Comcast out.
Punt count agrees that we are on the Comcast out. All right, let's get ready for our finals matchup today of Shinshire on Kaigulichi versus the Blood Ruby or Diamond Ruby
Diamond Ruby
aggressive
has a
deck.
deck, yep.
Stay tuned, folks. Thanks for watching.